Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle and I am from Lily Rose Craft Room. For today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to use Market Sublimation Sheets and how to use multiple colors in one design. Before we get started, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell so you guys don't miss on any new videos. Alright, let's get started. I have a Cricut Maker 3, so I'm going to be on Cricut Design Space to create my design. We're going to select Make New Project so we can get a blank canvas. Next, we're going to go down to Projects and we are going to type in Mug Design Setup. Next, where it says All Projects, we are going to select Cricut Only and then press Enter. It's going to give you a bunch of different designs, but the one you want to click is this one right here that has like a teal color and it says Mug Design Setup. And since I'm using a 15-ounce mug, the one that I want is a large straight edge 15 ounce. So we're gonna hit customize and it's gonna drop it down in our canvas. And I'm just gonna move it over. And then the cool thing about this design template, it gives you a visual of where your image is gonna be, like the front, the side, and the back. But for this design, it doesn't matter. So we're just going to click the little eyeball on the side and get rid of it. And this teal part, we're not going to get rid of just yet. I'm gonna use it as a border for my design so I know not to cross it. We will be removing it, but not right now. So we're gonna go on images and I'm going to find a lip SVG and then I'm just gonna scroll down and select the one that I want. I wanna stick to a lip that is a more solid color. That way it doesn't have a bunch of little things that I need to weed. It just makes things easier. So here I am selecting a solid one. So to select it, we're just going to click that plus button and it will add it to our canvas. Next, it's going to give us the design on our canvas and then we're just gonna make it a little bit smaller and then I'm gonna move on to the heart. So we're gonna go back on images and this time I'm gonna type in heart SVG and then I'm just gonna scroll down and find the heart that I like. And I found this one that I like, so again, I'm gonna click the green plus button and then I'm gonna go down to view and it should add to the canvas. Next, I'm gonna size it down and then I'm just gonna change the color just to get a visual of how it's gonna look like. Next, here is the fun part. I'm just gonna play around with the designs and just fit them how I like them. You can rotate them, you can make them bigger and smaller. And I'm going to be duplicating these just so I have more on hand. So to duplicate, all you have to do is click that square with the plus and you can duplicate as many as you like. So I'm just gonna speed up the process right here because this part is very repetitive. So all you have to do is select your shape and you can rotate it and size it to how you want it to be. And once I have my design that I like, we'll be moving on to the next step. Now that I have my design made, we're gonna go to the layers section and we're gonna find large mug wrap and we're going to click that eyeball to hide it because we don't need it anymore. I just needed it as a border. So next we're gonna highlight everything and we're going to click attach. So this is going to attach it and make it one cut. And then after I'm gonna show you how I arrange it so it can have both colors on the mug. When you hit make it, it's gonna wanna make you save it or you don't have to save it, but I've had a lot of times where there was an error and then my design wasn't saved and I lost it. So it's always good to save it before you cut. Next, it's gonna show you a visual of how it's gonna look on your cutting mat. Then we're gonna hit continue and select our material. We're gonna select browse all materials and we're going to scroll down to the iron on. And the material that we're gonna be using is called infusible ink. Even though this is the Maker's Market brand, it's basically the same concept. Once we have selected our material, now we can move on to applying the material to our sticky mat and let me show you how. These are the sublimation sheets that we're gonna be using. This is from the brand Market and you can find it at Michael's stores. And this is the color red and leopard. When you open your sublimation sheets, they come protected in this plastic wrap. So we are going to carefully open them. That way we can cut them and size them to our sticky pad. The interesting thing about sublimation is that it looks very dull, but once you press it with your heat press, the colors become more vibrant. This sublimation sheet pack comes with 2 pieces of butcher paper And it also comes with 2 pieces of sublimation paper, which is a 12 by 12 of the red one and a 12 by 12 of the leopard one. Next, I'm going to be using my Cricut paper trimmer to trim my sublimation sheet to size. So I'm going to trim it at 5 inches. Same with the red one, I'm going to also trim it at 5 inches. Next, I'm using my standard grip Cricut mat and I'm going to apply the sublimation sheet onto the top. I don't want to press on the sublimation sheet with my hands too much because of the oils, so I'm using a brayer roller to really press it onto the sticky mat. Next, to save time, since I'm going to be cutting it twice, we're going to be applying the leopard sheet to the other side of the mat. Then again, with the brayer, you want to really press it in to make sure it's really attached to the mat. Next, we're going to load our Cricut mat into our Cricut machine. And it doesn't matter which side you put in first because we're going to be cutting out the same exact thing. After you loaded your mat, the cut button will begin blinking. You're just going to click it and let it work its magic. Once it's finished cutting, you're going to unload the mat, turn the mat over, load it again, and start cutting the same exact thing. Now that our Cricut is done cutting, I'm gonna start warming up my Cricut Mug Press. That way it's ready when we're ready. This is my favorite weeding tool. It's a needle pen. So I already removed the outer backing, so now I'm gonna remove the inner excess. You wanna make sure you weed this very, very slowly, just because you don't wanna rip the part that you actually do need. I like to weed the design straight on the Cricut mat versus removing it after it's been cut, only because it gets a little tricky after you remove it from the sticky mat and it turns into like a rolling mess. And then having to fight with it to weed it, I just rather not. It's just easier to weed straight on the mat. And once I'm done weeding it, I remove one part because it's upside down compared to the other one. And I flip it over so it's the same. And let me show you how we're gonna be transferring sections from each part. So to make this design a two-tone color, we're just going to be switching all of the hearts. So all the red ones are gonna go to the leopard and all the leopards are gonna go to the red one. And you just wanna be very, very careful when we're removing these hearts because you don't wanna scratch the ink off. So slowly with the weeding pen, you wanna get under and carefully remove it. Oh, and I also wanna mention that you're able to make 2 mug designs when you're doing it this way. So the other one is going to be pressed onto a different mug. And once we're done switching the hearts, we're gonna press it down really good with the brayer tool to make sure it's really attached onto that sticky side of the sublimation sheet. Next, we're gonna flip over the mat and peel off that sublimation sticky sheet. And this is what it should look like. Oh, I'm so excited to press it. This is the mug that I'm going to be using. It is a Cricut brand sublimation mug, and this is the 15 ounce. The cool thing about these mugs is that it comes with a blank box inside just in case you are a small business and you wanted to resell these. With these sublimation mugs, I really try to avoid touching the outer part just because I don't want to put any greasy fingerprints. I grab it from the inside and then we are going to clean the mug with a lint roller just to get off any debris from the box or anything that it might have. Next, you carefully want to apply the wrap to your tumbler. And the clear part is going to be sticky, so that's really good about these sublimation sheets is that it sticks for you so you don't have to use much tape. If you mess up, you can just peel it off, so that's not a big deal. You do want to make sure that it is really tightly on to avoid any ghosting. After you've applied it as best as possible, you want to make sure to rub it with your finger just to make sure it's really pressed tight. Next, we're going to apply the butcher paper that it came with before we press our mug. Next, we're going to slide in our mug into our Cricut Mug Press and we are going to press down that handle to nicely secure it, and then we're just going to wait until it's done. This usually takes about 6 minutes. This is the progress light of the Cricut Mug Press. It'll keep blinking and then move on to the next light, and once it's done, it makes a beeping sound. Once it's done, you simply open up the press and you can grab the cup by the handle. The handle is going to be cool to the touch, but you can use gloves just in case. I set my mug down on my silicone mats just because it's very hot, and I let it cool down just for a little bit, and then I remove the sublimation wrap. While I'm waiting for it to cool down, I'm gonna press a different mug with that other wrap. Now it's time for the reveal. So we're gonna use gloves because it's still a little warm and I don't wanna burn myself. So we're gonna take off the butcher tape, and then slowly and carefully with tweezers, we're just going to peel back that sublimation sticky sheet. And look how pretty and vibrant this came out. This is beautiful. And this is what the sheet looks like after. You can really tell that a lot of the ink transferred to the mug. And like always, here is the finished look. As you can see, the colors transferred so vibrant. And remember I told you they look dull at first, but once it's pressed with the heat, the colors change and they just become very dark. And this is the other one that we pressed, and this time this one had the leopard lips and the red hearts, and it still looks really good. If you watched this till the end, thank you so much. Show me by putting lips and hearts in the comments below. Also, I'd love to know your thoughts about this process. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!